just all the love. Time to start the show. 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 Time to start the show.
Banana. 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 Da da da. Oh, no. Just a couple of times. Don't know where we talk about stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Do.
They come here for the musical talent.
Yeah, that was great.
Here for it.
I wrote that.
Oh, yeah.
That's an original composition there. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know you had such impressive musical skills. Well, I kind of knew.
Come on. Give it up.
I kind of knew.
You knew.
You got to work for it.
What do you think got you here? Let's be honest.
Right. That's
Besides
a good point.
these amazing good looks, right?
Mm-hmm. Distractingly good looking.
Amazing lovemaking skills.
Out of this world.
Right? I mean, grade A, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, couldn't get better. Could not get no notes from me. 0 notes from me.
No. 0 notes.
Yep.
I've never had a single note.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, usually at the end of your lovemaking, women are like, you know what? I have 0 notes.
Yeah.
Normally I got some notes.
Yeah. No notes.
Yeah.
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 What can you do?
Really impressive. Nothing. Don't change a thing.
Be better, man.
Be better.
Yeah.
Problem in this world, you need too many notes.
Yeah. Too many notes.
There's too many notes
It's
involved.
like an Amadeus.
Yeah.
Too many
Oh,
notes.
gotcha. Gotcha.
So what does that mean?
Oh, you love that's one of your fave films.
Yeah, it's one of my top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I haven't seen it in years though. It's a great film. We should watch it again. We've never seen it together, right?
No, correct. I'm like, I've seen it. Don't speak for me.
Yeah. No one can hear that.
Are you sure?
I don't know.
I want to say I'm very aware.
Yeah.
Our dog is here right in the middle,
The baby.
begging for attention.
It's the baby.
Thirsty for some attention.
Yeah.
She's scratching and jingling and coughing up phlegm, and we're trying to handle it as best we walking around like she owns the place.
She's being very passive aggressive about it.
Honestly, I can feel it. I can feel her energy. Once we sat down, she was like, "Oh, fuck you, bitches."
Anytime you hear that jingle, jingle, jangle,
It's not Santa, people.
it's not.
It's not Santa Claus.
Almost as good as Santa.
Very
though.
close.
She does bring gifts.
She does.
In the form of humps and diarrhea poop.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
She's great.
She's the best.
Anyway, so just a couple of thoughts. What's up, babe? How you doing this week?
I'm doing real good.
I like the idea of like the pretense of like we don't ever talk until the podcast.
Yes.
So it's like, well, how are you this week? We haven't seen each other in decades.
Like we just avoid eye contact and conversation the whole time.
Yeah. Anytime any of us tries to say anything, it's like, no, save it for the pod.
No, that's too much.
Yeah. So we have entire dinners where we just
That's right.
don't say anything.
We're
to
not
each
even
other.
looking on our phones. We just don't, sometimes eye contact, sometimes looking around.
Yeah.
There's no discomfort though. It's just our lives.
It's quite comfortable, actually.
Yes, it's accepted. It's accepted. It's as though we're mute.
Yeah.
Refreshing.
Speaking of not mute. Speaking of dinner, we just had a pretty good dinner, right?
Oh yeah.
We got some ramen
Some ramen
from this place in
Ever heard of it?
Louisville called Chicken and Me.
I think so.
First time we'd ever been.
It's really good.
It was really good.
Louisville, I don't know if we've mentioned before, has got some good ass food. It's it's kind of a foodie town.
It's a foodie town.
TBH.
Although, I guess, what town? Anytime I see that, it's like, oh, big for their food. It's like, yeah, who's not?
I don't know. I disagree.
These
I don't think
days.
Cleveland's a foodie town.
You don't think so?
I think that they got good stuff. I just think it's different. I think
Really?
they've got some good restaurants, but I think Louisville has more of kind of an eclectic taste, if you will.
So you're saying that Louisville has
I already know.
better food than Cleveland? Is that what you're saying right now?
I'm saying that there is more. I think there's a better. Put your gun away. A better selection, maybe of various foods. But Cleveland, it's got some good shit. But And again, I haven't lived there in some years, but I don't know. I think I just look at maybe it's because I was so impressed that Louisville had so many different restaurants because I underestimated it.
Yeah.
So that's probably what it was.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, we both got ramen, and there was some sort of we got the spicy paste with it,
which we don't know what it was called.
Yeah, I don't. It was it was reddish brown, and it had little hairs coming out of it, these little thin. What? I don't even know what those were.
Yeah, I wouldn't call them hairs.
They looked a little hairish though, little red hairs.
They looked like a little hairish if we had to describe what they were.
And they were like, "Yo, dude, y'all need to be careful with this stuff." They're like, "You start with the third, work your way up, or it's going to be crazy."
He told us right off the bat.
Yeah, and I really showed up for it. I got to say, I kind of killed it. I went a little bit over a third, and nothing, barely nothing.
Okay.
Right, those people are so just proud of how much they like to eat spicy stuff. Flaming hot Cheetos for breakfast. Shut up.
It's not that hot.
Who cares?
Sit the fuck down, homie.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about white people spicy because obviously it's what, let's be real. We can't compare to other cultures' foods, which are different.
Yeah. Our server was like, I'll tell you how hot it is really. It's hotter than white people hot. And, because there's this thing about
much hotter.
White people can't, they have such bland palates. And I was like, I won't admit it. I'm happy to stay in white people's spice,
Yeah.
I like a little heat, but I don't need it to be, I'm not trying to die from heat.
Sure. You want to live.
I want to enjoy my food. I'm not trying to get into the Guinness Book of World. Oh my God. Such a sneezy baby.
She is a mess tonight.
Why are you being so sneezy?
I mean, we get it.
Ooh.
You know what it is? She didn't take her allergy pills. She refused.
This bitch.
Yeah.
We try to hide her allergy pills in her food, and she's so smart. She's like, no. She eats around it. Yeah. Which is hard because it's one of those puzzle balls that you kind of have to eat around the little. It's like a little obstacle course for her tongue. It's
because she eats too fast.
That's probably what it is, honestly. Because she's gotten so good at navigating the obstacle course for her tongue. She's so skilled at working around stuff that she's like, you created this. I am the Frankenstein that you've created.
That's right.
My tongue can go around the pills now.
Right. Sure, yeah, and usually she'll leave one, so then we'll just add another one later, and she's just only having one. I mean, it's just how it is. But this isn't about her,
No, this isn't
about her.
This is about us. And
finally,
our narcissism, and you looking at us.
Not narcissistic. Stop putting that out there. That's not what's happening here.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not it.
It's about the world. Here's what it's really about. Okay,
yeah, tell them.
Because it's about breaking news. Okay, it's about talking about the hot stuff that people want to hear about.
Scolding.
It's about Justin Bieber.
It's about love.
Yeah.
Oh, and Justin Bieber. Isn't there some? Maybe. Anyways, back to Justin Bieber.
Is that that song?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
It's all about love, right?
The same.
Ultimately. So what's going on with the Biebs, baby? You just tell me about it. What is this? I just
saw this on Snapchat because I can't get to Instagram or TikTok because I've set a timer, and they're like, your time is up. I'm like, I'm trying to respect that. So I go to Snapchat. So we just move on to the next thing, which is not as addictive. So yeah, I saw this story, and I guess half of his face is paralyzed.
No way.
It was Ramsey, like a disease, a virus, Ramsey something.
Pharaoh Ramses II disease.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's curable, and
should we Google it just for the
no
experts out there?
We do not Google things.
I think in this one case, I'm going to Google just so we know the name of the thing.
I'm furious.
Right?
I don't want it.
Oh, man.
I want to say I completely object to this because who cares? We're just talking generally.
But tell us what you know.
Yeah, put your phone down.
Okay, I just wanted to see.
I will walk out.
Ramsay Hunt syndrome. I've never heard of that before.
Yes, I haven't either. So
what is that?
Anyways, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert or a doctor.
Yeah.
All I know is Justin Bieber sent something out being like, yo, my fans, my bad. I know I've canceled my dudes, canceled some shows. As you can see, kind of fucked up. And he's just, half of his face is, he's blinking and he's able to smile.
Yeah.
He's able to smile with half of his face and the other is just, it's just paralyzed. I mean, I don't know if there's any feeling there, but he can't move it.
Yeah.
Which at first, I saw something with his kind of like with the smile and I thought, is this a new filter? Is this some weird filter?
It's AI.
I mean, and even when he's doing it, I'm like, is this a goof? Because honestly, can we believe anything in this world? I feel like with deep fakes and, all of these different things to falsify videos and pictures, it's so hard to believe that anything is authentic.
Yeah.
So you really need to err on the side of caution. But then it becomes when things are legit, you're like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little sus, if you ask me. So that's the scoop that I know. That's as much as I know.
Well, didn't you say something about like, is it permanent?
No, I think he said something about getting back to normal. So it seems curable. I don't know the process. He says he's doing, I think PT for half of his face. To get it back to where it needs to be, to get them muscles moving, the nerves going. So it's not like
Parkinson's, like he'll be okay.
No, I know. I thought it was, but the way he's talking about it, it's
not like a Marty McFly thing.
No.
Yeah,
definitely not a Marty McFly thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think he's gonna be all right.
That's great. Good for him.
I know, and I just
want to say,
what's he like
35 now? How old is he?
Oh my god, that was we were just discussing this. When you are younger and somebody is like, if you are 15 and someone is 12, that is age. Your age is older. You are completely different. So the people who were younger than me, like Justin Bieber at the time, I thought were so much younger. And I think we recently discovered, I'm so sorry, everyone, if I get this wrong, is 29.
Oh, wow. He's not that old.
Like, young. He's not that. Yeah, he's close in age to us. So I was shocked. I was like, oh, damn. Okay. And I think, what's her name from iCarly?
Miranda Cosgrove.
I think is also 29 maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe Justin Bieber's 28.
I thought you said she was like 31.
No. But still, again, it's like 3 years is so long, so much younger. If, you're 16, she's 13. She's a child at that point.
Yeah. Well, those shows were on 13 years ago.
Yeah. Which is
like
wild.
We're old.
We're not old.
We were just talking about how we're not old. Like, kind of.
No, we're not. Okay,
we're on the cusp. We're leaving young.
Here is my pet peeve.
We're getting out of young.
Now we're gonna get into this. So I think that we, as a society, have gotten way too comfy with saying that we're old. All of these. I feel like, tale as old as time. I've met, you're in your early to mid 20s and it's like, 25. Shut up. Mm-hmm. You're not that old. And even now in my 30s, early 30s, I don't think I'm old. I think when I think about things that have, as time has passed and, that was 20 years ago. Oh, obviously I feel aged like fuck. Or compared to people who are much younger and trends, I feel older. But I mean, until I'm like in my 80s, maybe 70s, depending on my physical health, I don't think I'd be categorized as old. I'm old compared to maybe an 11-year-old. Mm-hmm. But can we quit this? We're aging ourselves way too soon for what?
Yeah.
For what?
I don't know. You tell
dumb.
me.
So you can sit down with that old bullshit.
Yeah.
I won't stand for it.
Well, I didn't say there was anything wrong with it.
Yeah, but it's also incorrect.
I just said that.
Incorrect. And I'm becoming enraged, and I don't know if I can settle down from this. From this type of these type of lies. And that's just what I have to say.
Okay. Well, I'm glad.
That's just how it is.
I'm glad that you said it.
Okay,
I'm glad that you said it, baby.
And then off my chest, finally.
Yeah. Is Justin Bieber old? He's not old.
No, he's in his 20s still.
He's Hollywood old, though.
He's Hollywood.
Yeah, you really only have like 2 years.
Well, and for women specifically, like if you're in your 30s for women, everyone's like, oh my God. She's 30? You wouldn't even tell. Like what? How fucking old do you think people are? I mean, I think about that when I see like, I don't know, Selma Hayek, and I find how I can't even remember how old she is, but you're like, damn, she looks good too.
Yeah, she looks good.
She's doing it. So
I think she's finally crossed over though a little bit.
What?
She's like like we saw her like in Eternals last night.
Yeah, you're saying that she's aged.
Yeah,
as everyone does.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not like, oh my God, so hot now.
I see. So you're not thirsting over her sexually.
Yeah.
Which means she's crossed over. Adam likes to say that women don't have value.
I didn't say that.
Well, it's implied. Yeah. So you're not trying to get to the bone zone. So all of a sudden it's like, nah. I think she looks great, but
she's gorgeous. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's very beautiful.
But she's,
but she's like what, like 65 now? I mean,
no. I think like I can't even tell what she is. I would say she's maybe like late 40s at this point, but I can't tell. I mean, she looks great, but yeah. Again, I mean, I think that's another thing. Brad Pitt's in his 50s, I believe, and that's weird.
Yeah.
That's freaking weird.
Oh my God. So creepy. Because like if you haven't seen this movie yet, but Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes.
There's a scene where like he's kind of like about to like get crazy with like a really young girl who's like clearly supposed to be like under 18, like in the movie. And I don't know how old he's supposed to be portraying, like how old the character is he's portraying, but like it's still just very weird.
Yeah.
Still very weird.
Yes.
But, what can you do?
Yeah.
That's Hollywood for you.
Again, I want to point out to the listener that our dog Fiona cannot handle her shit tonight.
Yeah.
And I'm distracted, and I need to point out, because she looks like she's about to have a tantrum. I'm gonna try to ignore it.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I mean, it is really bothersome. We got a lot of these older dudes, and the amount of movies you and I have watched.
Yeah.
With like, what was that? Oh, when we watched My Cousin Vinny, and I'm like, how old is Joe Pesci here?
Yeah.
Compared to
because he was in his 50s at that point.
Yes. Yes, and she was like 28 maybe. I can't remember how old she was.
Yeah, she was under 30 for sure.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, regardless of, she's not a child, but there's an age where it's like, what the fuck are we doing, movie? Can it be close? I think if it's 10 years, I can tolerate it. Like, okay, if late 20s, maybe like mid to late 30s, fine. But once we get into like the 20 plus or, close, it's like, I'm uncomfortable. I can't just watch this and not notice the age difference and just think it's fine.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah. That's okay.
That's okay. I think that's what Hollywood is there for, to tell us what we should think about, that's like social, social norms. Like they're the ones pushing the boundaries for us, And I think that's great.
Yeah. That's what we need.
Speaking of which, we saw some weirdness this week, Yeah. I think, this podcast is very much about comedy. And
yes, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, if you haven't noticed. In a lot of ways, it's also about other podcasts. I think it's fair for us to comment on that sometimes, right?
Yeah. Oh, sure. Sure.
And so I kind of wanted to bring this up because I showed this to you.
Yeah.
We were listening to, sometimes I like to listen to Your Mom's House.
Yes.
And they were like really going hard on this new Sports Illustrated model, the girl on the latest cover.
That's right.
And I don't remember her name, but
I can't remember it either.
They were giving her shit because she wasn't like the like traditional standard like idea of what perfect beauty is. Like because she wasn't like a thin, framed, like Tyra Banks, Heidi Klum kind of archetype of a model. And they were just calling her fat and just be like, yeah, she's not hot. She's gross. She should not be on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
And to go back to the barn. Can you imagine? I mean, it's so insane to treat another human like that.
Yeah.
They were like, piggy. What's going on with you? You just see people on the street and you're just like, this is a fine way to behave.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think that once they chose their lane, they're like, the only way we can make this funny is to double down on it and just be as extreme as possible.
Shocking.
It just wasn't funny though.
It wasn't funny. I mean, it was offensive, but more so not fucking funny.
Yeah, I just didn't I think my thing was I just didn't understand it because like the girl, she was very attractive.
She was very pretty.
I found her, I was like, I'm here for it. Mm-hmm. I want to put stuff in her, you know? I'm here for it.
Well, to be not in a creepy kind of, predatory way.
Yeah, in a great
your penis.
Like if we see each other and and we're looking and we're not like if we weren't, which would never happen because this is great.
That's right.
But in that like alternate universe that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
At all ever. Yeah, very attractive. You'd be here person.
For it. Also, can I say, someone wanting to fuck you does not also imply attractive.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing that we need to say, because there's plenty of people that I can say, objectively speaking, they're hot, but not needing to want to have sex with them.
Yeah.
Like Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt, I think, is obviously attractive.
Oh, sure.
I've never felt compelled to have sex. If I saw Brad Pitt and he was like, would you like to complete intercourse with me? I would say, thank you so much for the offer. It would be a great story, but an even greater story is me rejecting Brad Pitt. Can you imagine?
Yeah, he'd be calling you. He wouldn't be able to leave it alone.
No.
Fucking god damn it! You check your phone like Brad again, texting me.
Brad, honestly, I just don't have time for it.
Yeah,
I don't have time for it. Okay,
come
no
on,
means
babe.
no.
Come on,
chill.
girl. Let's just come on. Not I'm Brad.
Little
Pitt.
incelly, Brad. Little I just see you as a friend. I just see you as a friend. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
Yeah, it was very odd because like I think their thing was like, yeah, you have to adhere to a certain standard to be on the cover of a magazine. And I feel like, those norms are determined by society, right? Collectively.
Right.
So if, and I also understand the argument that Sports Illustrated, and a lot of media outlets will purposefully be controversial just as a means to grab eyeballs, which is ironic because I feel like, your Mom's House is doing the exact same thing probably. But I think in this case, it just like, I think their argument doesn't hold water because she is attractive.
Right. That's the crazy thing because, and again, you and I had this discussion. If we were going to take all of everything out of it and what it means, because he was discussing how, growing up, I saw, people like Christy Brinkley and blah, blah, blah. That's what it is. And, to say, this is the beauty standard, and thinking that maybe he's acknowledging like, this is the hottest of the hot. These are the perfect 10s. That's who should be on here.
Yeah.
To kind of say that, but then and continue, which again, we can get into that, but then to continue to like completely dehumanize this woman in a way that's like so insanely aggressive. Is extreme. But it's also like, hey, things are fucking changing. And I think what it comes down to is like, what we see as attractive is forever, it's not only is it subjective, but it again, it moved. Like, so for instance, Kim Kardashian, right?
Yeah.
Very small waist, big titties, big thighs, big ass.
Boom, boom, boom.
It was not always about that, you know? And now the whole like, you know, you still want the hourglass shape, but we're getting more accustomed. Hey, you gonna have thighs. You want to have a little jiggle. That's fine. So when we put a woman on there that doesn't fit that standard of what you think is attractive, because this is the best of the best, and you lose your shit over it.
Yeah.
Get over yourself. What are you doing?
Yeah, they were trying to make the argument like, yeah, I mean, she's pretty, but you know,
like her face is pretty.
She weighs more than what a person who should be on the cover of a magazine.
Like if she weighed 40 or 60 pounds less, she would be killing it or something.
Yeah. And that, you know, most men wouldn't find this person attractive. I'm like, I don't think that's correct at all. I think
don't speak for all men.
I think because I'm an average man, right?
Good for you.
Pretty average.
Yes.
I'm about as average as it gets, honestly.
You're the most average, which is what I love about you.
And I think she looks like what an average woman looks like, you know? And and I love it. I'm here. I find that much more attractive than like your Heidi Klums or like your Megan Foxes. A lot of like quote unquote perfect women, like to me, they look boring. And I usually don't find them attractive. I prefer something with a little more thigh, a little more meat, you know?
Right.
Meat.
Yes.
It's what's for dinner.
Yes.
I like my women.
Unless you're a vegetarian.
I like my women to be like, you know, like on the Arby's like menu. You know what I'm saying? They got
they're a number 5.
Arby's should put out like a calendar.
Yeah.
I would buy that calendar, like a model calendar.
Yeah, where
they
just
have like meaty women eating Arby's. I would buy the
eating
fuck
roast
out
beef
of that.
Sammys.
Yeah, or the new Wagyu burger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I tried that burger.
Oh yeah. What are your thoughts?
I know you guys are waiting on bated breath to hear what I think about the new Arby's steak burger. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not bad.
Nice.
Yeah.
Adam has
not the best, not the worst.
He has a tendency to have fiend over new items on fast food.
Yeah.
To the point of obsession. To the point of obsession, honestly.
Yeah.
And
check out my review. I got a couple food review videos up on YouTube if you want to check those out. It's under Charlie Wayne. Yeah.
Plug-in. Always be plug-in. But
always be plug-in.
Yeah. No, I agree with all that. I think that's all fair. And I think to just assume because things have changed that there's going to be a decrease in sales is ignorant.
Yeah.
And just out of touch, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
What are we fucking doing?
Yeah. And then there's the opposite end of the spectrum where you have like these like amazingly gorgeous women like pretending to be like heroes for like doing like abnormal things to like defy beauty standards. Like, you know, like Alicia Keys, you know, it's like, I'm not going to wear makeup. Yeah, I'm going to strike a blow for women ever. It's like, you're perfect. You don't need makeup. What are you talking about?
That is such...
To me, it's like a flex, really. It's more like, I'm so perfect that I don't even need to do this. And so, like, really, it just becomes like a, look at me, I'm so amazing. Both ethically and I'm fucking perfect because I don't even need to wear makeup. I'm that good looking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I think this is a big discussion, too. So, again, I'm of the mindset, you do you. I think it is a big step in the right direction, just in saying like, I don't need to do this. I can be pretty and I can be natural. But to your point, I mean, she's got really good skin. She's a beautiful woman. And I think a lot of women who are, again, to the societal standard of attractive, coming on there and being like, I look a mess because their hair is messy. And we're all like, you still look amazing. And please, let's not pretend you don't.
Yeah.
And so many people struggle with body dysmorphia and their image. And other women who are clearly attractive. And again, I'm sure they have their own struggles. Just being like, ugh, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just going to wear sweatpants. But like, your body is amazing. And your cash is still hot. Like, you just going out and being cash and thinking like you're quote unquote homeless, which you're not. This is what homelessness is. It's I'm in sweatpants. And you're still gorgeous. You're not doing anything. People are still gonna think you're hot. Mm-hmm. They're still here for it.
Just accept your hotness.
Sweatpants, hair tied, and chilling with no makeup on. that maybe is when they're prettiest. And I hope they don't take it wrong.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I used to be friends with a guy in college, and that was his thing. He's like, I like a girl. He's like, my thing is I like a girl in sweatpants.
Oy.
He's like, I like seeing a girl in sweatpants because
Yeah,
that's when she looks like her most comfy, you know? And I'm like, it's probably just because it's easy. Like, that's the easiest thing to take off, you know, is the sweatpants.
You know,
they come right off.
Thought, I mean, I think that's fair, easy access. But I think I always looked at it, and someone said this to me, is that it's almost like a little controlling to say, hey, just be casual sweatpants. So you're trying not to look attractive so that I can just have you, as though it's concerned because men think that women wear makeup for them. So they think, oh no, if you don't do it, then I can just have you to myself. I'm not saying everyone is like that, but there is something to be said.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah. That's right. I'm smearing that makeup on. I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, God, I fucking hope men. I hope men see that this is a MAC lipstick.
Yeah.
And I hope they understand how long this took me and could say, wow, your look is both natural as well as striking. Because a lot of the time I'll put makeup on and I'm like, let's not be too crazy. I want someone to look at me who knows nothing about makeup and think I look natural.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna say is no.
No. I thought that about most recently Hillary Duff. Did you see that? She put that thing out about like Hillary Duff accepts her body. And she does like a big like a wide shot of just like her like naked, like sprawled out.
No way.
And it's like finally accepts her body. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She looks amazing.
No, I can't agree with this.
I don't understand it. Can you tell me what it was what did I miss?
Because I mean, I think that
she has a perfect
for
body.
Anyone, that is subjective. I think that it is so. I mean, she's in Hollywood. You know, these women are scrutinized to an insane amount. Every single woman any woman in general, if you're just existing, but specifically women like in Hollywood. And if you look at her like in the Lizzie McGuire show, and she always looked fucking great. And then she had this period where she was really thin in her brunette days. If you know, you know. And then she got her veneers. And you can just kind of see, even looking at her, how there's probably still some adjusting going on. So
there was some body dysmorphia.
100%.
And then she maybe gained a little weight to feel more comfortable.
And she got to, she looks fucking banging now. But again, to look at someone and say, what are you complaining about? I don't agree with.
Yeah.
Because everyone, again, subjective. Everyone has, it's relative.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own struggles, and I would never, ever compare. I think my beef is always just, can we just stop collectively, thinking that this person is so brave for wearing sweatpants because they're so beautiful? Because there is, they know. I mean, if you are a fat person in this society, you have no value.
Right.
Fucking if
sweatpants just adds like 30 pounds visually.
I love sweatpants. I'm wearing sweatpants right now.
Honestly,
sweat all day.
Whenever I wear sweatpants, I do feel a little brave. Because I'm not a jammy person. Oh. Because I also, I have not accepted my body yet, and I'm always afraid of looking not good, and so I always dress up. I always wear nice pants.
Yeah.
Like I can't wear, like, it's such a thing to get me to even like wear shorts sometimes.
Yeah.
What do you call those shorts? Basketball shorts?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think that, and I can't be alone in this. I don't want to ever give anyone a reason to, okay, so for instance, I'm a bigger, like, I got curves, and I think that when I wear something that's kind of hiding maybe the areas I'm not confident in, the first thing I think about is people looking and they're like, oh, this fat girl trying to hide her fat. This fat girl trying to act like she doesn't got the chub. And then I'm like, you know what, whatever, who cares? And then it's like this fat girl thinking she looks so pretty. Just making assumptions.
You can't beat that voice.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. That's everybody's voice in their head, in my mind. But I mean, I get it. I think we're all struggling because we're trying to reach this unattainable ideal that even the people who quote unquote have attained it aren't happy and don't feel good about it and are constantly trying to say, looking at what they're eating and trying to keep whatever, body they have. I mean, what are we doing here, people?
Yeah. Even when I weighed my least amount, I didn't think it was enough. I always have seen myself as a fat or a bigger person.
Yeah.
And I'll see pictures of myself when I was at my lowest weight, and I look at it now. I'm like, oh, I wasn't healthy.
You a bobblehead in those pictures.
I was Al Roker.
That big head does not fit that skinny body.
It really does not. No,
it is embarrassing.
I did not look healthy.
Didn't look good.
It looked like what I looked like. I looked like Steve Rogers in the Captain America movie.
Buff?
Yeah, they had to CG him into a skinny dude's body with that big ass head.
Accurate. Fucking accurate.
That's what I look like.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah.
But you had the heart of Steve Rogers, and that's what counts.
Yeah. I basically am I'm the real Captain America.
Yeah. It's out there. People know. Yeah. I mean, I think, again, in general, I just have to say, let's not equate thinness with beauty. Yeah. That's just not what, us, saying that, oh my God, you look so skinny today means you're pretty is insane. Shut up.
I would never say that. That sounds awful.
I think they're trying to mean well, but let's move on from that. Let's just fucking move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Let's move on in general.
Let's go on to a lighter topic.
Ooh, feather it up.
Yeah, I don't know. Should we talk about it?
Oh, is this not a light topic?
No.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know. I feel like now that we've mentioned it, but let's pause that. Let's leave that a little bit.
You're going to leave that for the end?
Let's shift to something more delightful.
Okay.
Let's shift to a little fluff.
Like what?
Let's fluff it up. I was hoping you had an idea.
Oh man.
Happy fun times.
Happy
what? I do have
times,
something.
Baby.
You know what? I got something to say.
Yeah, what do you got?
I think I've mentioned this before about
Lay it on me.
About how tickled I am to see people happy. And I think that I think we're going more towards just rooting for each other to win.
Yeah.
Get to that finish line.
Well, you've been watching that Love on the Spectrum, right?
Oh,
that's been making your day, baby.
Okay. So I have to say, I have a lot of experience with people who have disabilities, and I'm a social worker, and I've done case management work, and my clients had intellectual and developmental disabilities. So I've been really exposed to people of different diagnoses, and a lot of whom have autism, and it's so difficult because it is a spectrum and it varies so much, and those social cues and figuring it out, and we live in such an ableist world where we think that you need to act a certain way and again, here's the prototype, stick to it. But this show, please watch it. I legitimately cry every time.
Every time.
I am an easy crier. And also I cry easily, so take that as you will. Yeah. So it's so heartwarming. It's so loving. I feel like watching all of the people just come together and be so real and honest and loving in their own way. There is no right way to show your emotions and feeling as long as you're not hurting people. And it's really quite amazing because they're just honest. They're like, what do you feel about me? Good. Okay, cool. I mean, just straight up. There's no games. It's just, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't like someone, they'll be like, can we be friends? And nobody wants to be friends. Come on, what we doing? We trying to date.
Why can't we be friends?
'Cause I want to have sex with you.
Yeah, it's been really hard for me to watch some of that show just because some of the encounters are just really awkward, and I feel I feel all of that awkwardness, and I think I'm probably projecting some of that onto them as well. But anytime I like something, because it's very important for me for social interactions to go as smoothly as possible
because of your social anxiety.
Because of my social anxiety,
yeah.
And so when I see it being a little, how say you,
uncomfortable.
I was gonna say, awkward, yeah, but I mean, like, just maybe a little off rhythm, we'll say.
Okay.
It's really hard for me to watch sometimes, but also ultimately, I feel like these are all good experiences for these people, and I think it's a great show.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's a fair, thing to mention. I think that you'll watch it because we're looking through we have the perspective of kind of how we understand how social interactions are kind of supposed to be and what's accepted and how you need to carry on a conversation and no interrupting and no all of these things that we need to do. So I think you're watching this and you're thinking that's not the right way. Oh, he's not going on. Oh, he's not asking this question. Oh, it's uncomfortable. And this isn't kind of the same set of rules, I guess. We're operating on, in the realm of this is how I communicate. And that's fine. It's fine to express yourself in any way that is comfortable to you. But I understand that feeling of looking at it and thinking, what can I do? Because there is a moment where you're looking and you're like, just ask me about this. Just say this. No, that's not. Okay. All right. There's a lot of awkward silences, a lot of staring contests and just kind of not knowing where to go, which is uncomfortable for everyone. But I imagine that, when you're processing things, and again, if they're both on the spectrum and they kind of understand that a little bit more, I don't think it's as uncomfortable as we would perceive it. It's more of, okay, let me think.
Yeah.
Whereas we would think, oh my God, maybe. No, we're not talking. I'm, having all of these internal thoughts that maybe they're not. And again, I can't assume, but.
Right. Who could say? Not me.
Who can get in that mind?
I know I can't say.
No.
But it is wonderful to see these people like get to connect with others and find that special someone. I think that so many people with, disabilities don't have that privilege or that luxury that most other people have, and it's difficult. It's difficult to think about that world where you don't necessarily have access to being able to find that special partner, and
you don't feel like you fit in.
Yeah, you don't feel like you fit in. You don't feel like you get to check the boxes that society is said that you need to check to feel like your value.
Yes.
Like you have value.
Yes.
Yes,
everything you're saying I agree with. Yeah, it's so crazy. I mean, it's like it's so great though when I'm watching it and it's like, consent. Yeah. It's upfront, it's can I hug you? Can I kiss you? So great, and on the yes you may, thank you. I mean, it's just I love it, but I agree. I mean, you gotta act one way, and when we break that mold, people don't know what to do. There is it's anarchy. People are in the streets.
Anarchy.
They're on fire. People are getting murdered because social constructs have been broken. They don't know how to act.
Do you think that exists? Like, is there a dating service out there for people on the autism spectrum?
Yeah, I mean, I think that
should exist. If not,
no. Here's the thing. It
sounds difficult to pull off.
Yeah, it does. It does. I think it depends on where you are. I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I think the issue with that is exploitation.
Yeah.
So if you have a specific site saying everyone on here has some type of disability.
Yeah.
You get fucking creepos thinking, oh, that means this, you know, this is a vulnerable population and I'll get in it.
Oh.
So that's, I think, where the issue lies. And I think it's complicated and hard. But yeah, I mean, it's so important to connect people. And I think it comes down to trying to figure out what kind of gatherings can we get people who, you know, have these differences together and relate and, have the life like everyone else can. What are we doing? So I think that's big. That's a biggie.
Yeah.
So, but that lights up my life.
You'd have to have like a screener or something, like a psychologist on call. Yeah. That's like, okay, are you actually got it? Cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, if you want to get in. If you want to get in the VIP club of the autism dating app, you know?
Yeah. The VIP club. You get in that club. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
The app is just called Tism.
So Adam and I, when we talk about people, we'll be like, autism. Autism. No shade.
Yeah. The more that I come into contact with people who have been diagnosed as on the autism spectrum, the more I start to notice, you know, people in my everyday life who I think maybe, you know, 15, 20 years ago, we would have looked at that person and just been like, that's the annoying person. Yeah. You know, that's the person that just weird. Doesn't quite fit in for one reason or another. You know, they might talk your ear off a little longer than most, or, you know, they might not know how to, they might say the wrong things in certain social situations, and inadvertently, you know, maybe hurt someone's feelings, or maybe just the thing that they're trying to convey isn't conveyed properly. And so anytime I see someone being a little off, I'm like, autism going on. At least ask the question.
Adam wants me to diagnose everyone as well.
Yeah, diagnose everyone for me, baby, please.
I am not qualified, although I know the DSM-5.
Whoa.
I know. Well, I don't. I mean, I'm familiar with. Kind of.
Is that a computer? Is that a CPU? What is that? DSM-5?
It's a diagnostic manual. It's.
Oh, really?
Like diagnoses.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know what S stands for. I can't remember. But yeah, so I mean, I think that's great. It's, you know what? Now that we've fluffed it up a little bit, let's bring it back down, because I know the listeners are thinking, a little bit too bright, a little bit too bubbly. Mm-hmm. We are here for sadness and depression. Yeah. And you know what? We are here to give you what you want. So, baby, do you want to share with us? If you're comfortable, this is not. You immediately sound uncomfortable, and now it looks like I'm forcing you to do this.
This is a great late end.
Is this what? All right, this is all that I have. I was trying to make it smooth, but I think speak your truth.
Well, I part of me doesn't even know if this is something that should be shared on this podcast, but I think there is something to be said for authenticity and transparency. And because I think at the end of the day, this podcast is supposed to be just a sharing of experiences and hopefully connecting with other people. Hopefully in a funny way. This probably won't be, but hey, we'll see what happens. But I got some pretty disturbing news this weekend about my brother. Most people don't really know this about me, but I actually have a half brother. We have different moms, same dad. Dad passed away way 10, 12, 13 years ago maybe. And so I have this half brother. We don't really keep in touch. I haven't spoken to him or my half sister for that matter in probably a good 5-6 years. And I just found out that he passed away this weekend. He was 43 years old, and he had a wife, a couple of kids. Previous kid from another marriage who he wasn't close with, but it's brought a lot of mixed emotions for me because, again, like I said, I didn't really know this person all that well. There were a few experiences here and there as a kid, but like I said, once he was much older than me. He was 11 years older than me. And so by the time I came along, he was pretty much out doing his own thing. So, there just wasn't a lot of common ground between us. I was, he was into, country stuff, construction, rebel, blah, this, and he was, we'll stop there. And so I'm not really sure how I should handle it because, part of me feels like, what is there to mourn because I did not know this person. But there's still a connection there. Much of my identity is based off of my relationship with this person and the rest of my family. And there's an otherness there that I feel like separates me from them. Unfortunately. And so, I don't know. I just wanted to put that out there and say that, I don't know, thinking of you, right? It affected me much more than I thought it would. I wasn't expecting to be affected by it quite as much as I was. So, I guess we'll just want to say we will remember you.
Yeah. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I don't want to break. I think first off, thank you so much for sharing. I want to tell the listeners, this was discussed. I did not force Adam to, it was my idea. It was his idea. But I think that you bring up a good point in dysfunction in families and guilt and, to make decisions about what's right for you. We've had this discussion about, deciding who you want in your life and who you don't and what's going to bring, what is the most healthy.
Right.
And family is family, but we also have no obligation to speak to the person if they are unhealthy in our lives.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big part of this, but that was still, that's still somebody you're related to and circumstances. And there is no right way to feel things and mourn. And I think we need to give ourselves permission to feel whatever the fuck we want. Yeah. And that's fine. I always say there is no wrong emotion. There's just a wrong way of, acting to it. So, all emotion is, we obviously don't like anger and that's a uncomfortable feeling, but it's not wrong. It's not bad. It's bad if you hit someone, but it's just a reaction. So when you told me this, I feel like one of the first things I said is, there is something to acknowledge here that this is what you're feeling. Yeah. And there's something in you to say, oh, okay, it's not good. It's affecting me. So I think it's something to take note and just be aware of. You don't need to explore it all right now. There's no timeline. Yeah. Do you? That's okay.
Yeah. I wish I had more memories to share of him. Like I said, we didn't really keep in close contact, especially after my dad passed away or our dad passed away. There was one time we did reconnect was in like 2013, 2014. And first time we'd seen each other in years. And He tried to steal my car.
You know how brothers be.
He was like, "Hey, oh man, you got this new Miata. Can I drive it?"
Oh my God. I didn't,
like,
you didn't tell me
dude, you
this.
just finished. Dude, you just drank 2/3 of a bottle of Knob Creek. No, you cannot. And then I found out later
bummer.
his driver's license had been revoked because of too many DUIs. And it was I just got the car. and I looked up his rap sheet. He'd gotten arrested for like stealing his girlfriend's car.
Not a perfect man, people.
Yeah, not a perfect man.
Not a perfect man. But I mean, upbringing, circumstances.
Completely different upbringing.
So different from you.
Yeah.
So different.
I think it's just a big tragedy. Thinking about what could have been.
And he has kids, right? 2 children, I think.
He has 2 children. There's a third. He had a son who is, I think, in his maybe 20s now. I'm pretty sure he has kids actually.
Oh my God.
But they did not have a relationship either. I think it's a tragedy from the perspective of what could have been. I mean, I would have loved to have had a close relationship with any sibling. It just didn't work out that way. And it's also a tragedy because, I know this person had pretty deep-seated issues with addiction and mental health. And it's, as someone who comes from a family of addiction and depression and, all different types of mental health issues, I think it's a shame when someone loses that fight because, I think we all deserve to live a good life and we all deserve to overcome our demons. And fortunately, sometimes that just doesn't happen. So I think it's important to recognize that and try to, if anyone else has demons of their own, to fight that fight, in honor of yourself and in honor of those around you who unfortunately lost that fight.
Yeah, because you're worth it. And I mean, I always think when people say, I mean, as a person who has, deals with mental health issues, I think it's important to say, when people always told me I wasn't alone, I think while that's nice because you feel so isolated, I also didn't like it because in my mind, it made me feel invalidated a little bit to say, other people experience what you experience, because I always thought, no, they haven't. No one had my specific upbringing. No one thinks the way I think. And it just made me feel like, hey, other people have this. And it felt like as though my own personal experience was dismissed.
Yeah.
And I understand the whole idea of saying, hey, you're not isolated. You have support, people who are experiencing the same thing. Totally helpful.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah.
But I think there is also something to say, your thoughts, your experiences are unique and they're your own.
Yeah.
But support exists.
Yeah.
People also deal with these kinds of, maybe thoughts and feelings in their own way.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to know that everything is temporary. Life is forever changing. And as you say, we owe it to ourselves, our family, and everyone around us, not to say that, there's something you're letting people down, but just to say having that support system and being around people who love you and finding that is so important because you have value for just existing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's also this thing about and again, I come from a rural background. I cannot say that word right.
It is a hard word.
Rural. I'm from the country, basically. And I think in the country, I think access to mental health support services is not as available.
That's correct.
And not only that, but the culture is still so against admitting any type of mental
a lot of stigma,
weakness. And if there are issues, I think the first remedy is religion. Got to find God. And, and that does work for some people. And I think that's great. But I don't think it works for everybody. And so I just wish that things could have been different,
Yeah.
I mean, I hear, and it's not just my brother. I mean, I've heard so many stories. I have another close friend from high school who lost a brother because of drugs and addiction. And, you think like if this person just got the help they needed, would they have been okay? And it's just tragic.
Yeah.
It's just tragic.
I think it's fair to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes love isn't enough, unfortunately. I hate to say it.
No, I think that's fair. I think that I also want to say it is very easy, especially when we talk about, suicide.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of suicide prevention stuff and also having loved ones who've died by suicide. And I think, you and I have talked about this. People's demons are real. And I think that your friends and family can only do so much. You need more support, medication, therapy. And when it comes down to, if you're in the same environment, especially with addiction, you're going to go right back into the same shit. And that's what's hard because people usually don't have, the resources to just move or be in a different setting. So it's a lot of things are set up to keep you down. But I think one of the most rebellious things you can do is live.
100%.
Fucking show them.
Yeah.
You are better than this. You can do, and again, this is not to say guilt. You are allowed to have your bad days, give yourself permission. Yeah. And also family, loved ones, it's not your fault. Like you can only do so much and all you can do is be supportive. And I think that's the biggest thing. I've talked to people who are either survivors of suicide or friends and families who have had people who have died by suicide to say, and I know we're not talking about suicide, but I think that's another important topic when we talk about mental health.
Right. It's an adjacent point.
So there's a lot. And when we talk about substance abuse, there's a lot of wanting to die there too. So, I mean, everyone, whoever is listening, and we've been experiencing hard times, I hope this hasn't brought you down too much, but just understand, like, it is completely acceptable. You are valid. Give yourself permission to let yourself heal. We are not meant to be constantly going and not take a break and recharge. That is not what's supposed to be happening. We are not the Energizer Bunny. That's just the reality of it.
I don't even play drums.
No, that's right. You sure don't. Sure don't. Didn't you play in the?
I did actually. I did actually play bass drum.
The lies.
Yeah, very similar to the bunny actually.
I thought you were doing that. I thought you. So, okay.
Yeah.
Just the lies.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was great.
Yeah.
Jeremy,
just getting real.
We'll end on this. Jeremy, my brother, if you're out there, I raise my glass. You will be remembered, and you will not be forgotten. And you influence my life every single day, and you will continue to do so. So, thank you.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
We'll see you.
We're thinking of you, Jeremy. Oh. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. I'm glad we get real with you, and we just wanted to share that. And we're happy that you're here and you made it through. Hopefully, we can keep giving you solid content. Get real, get intimate, get vulnerable with you. And that's all I got.
That's it.
That's it.
All right.
All right.
Till next time.
Ayo.